I'm not honest with you. My African lady, I'll be your friend until the end. My African lady, please do not forget, you are my land, you own my life. When I'm misbehaving, you know, sometimes I'm just a fool.
Group photograph with husband. Three women with a man in the middle. Three marriages and only one husband. Three families but only one father. The first time he visits, a guest should open his eyes but not his mouth, an old African proverb says. Everyday life in a polygamous marriage. Wives and children engaged in housework. The father decides who does what. The usual evening meal of fufu is being prepared, maize dumplings with groundnut sauce. They cook what comes from their fields. The three wives have their own separate fields, separate houses and households, and share the same husband. He works in the municipal administration during the day, and he too has his own house to live in. This evening, his first wife, helped by her children, is cooking fufu for the whole family. The husband is really leading three monogamous married lives with his wives, because each lives with her children and has her own income. The farmstead is ruled by the husband, and he has a strict weekly timetable regulating marital relations in bed and at the fireplace. The primary purpose of the polygamous family is to have large numbers of children, because that brings greater prestige and influence among the neighbours in the village. Later, in old age, many children are a guarantee of respect and support. There is social insurance for the husband and for his wives. 15-year-old Riki and 16-year-old Bibi are half-sisters and good friends. They have the same father but different mothers. In former times they would already be married at this age, as was the custom among the Bamoun people here in Cameroon. Riki's father's marriage to his first wife was arranged by his family. Today the teenagers' lives are no longer governed purely by traditional rules, something that's also reflected in the girls' favourite reading matter. Relatives recently returned from the capital, Yaoundé, bringing with them French photo romances. When school is over, the teenagers like nothing better than to leaf through these illustrated stories of true love.
La poussière de l'été, le rouge de ma terre, le blanc de l'hiver. Je promène partout la chanson de chez nous, où je vais jamais. Ma guitare et ma chanson africaine, africaine.
Riki and Bibi can't get enough of this exotic literature. White dreams are being planted here on the old farm in Fumban.
We're at school in Fumban.
What are your expectations for your future? Do you want to study when you finish school?
We'll look for work.
What do you like to spend your time on?
Reading.
What do you read, for example?
Photo romances.
Do you find them interesting?
Yes.
But there are only white people in them.
You can learn how the whites live from them.
Is that different from life here?
Very different.
What do you think about it, Riki? These romances, do they give a true picture of white people's lives?
No, it's just pretend.
Do they make you laugh?
Yes.
But do you dream of a life like that?
Yes.
Africaine, mes joies, mes peines sont couleur d'ébène. Africaine, danse quand même, chante quand même, ta musique, c'est
Der nächste bitte. Fräulein, ich glaube, Sie sind dran.
Ich möchte gern ein Stück harte Wurst.
The teenagers are fascinated by modern Europe. Because of this, they pay keen attention to German lessons in school.
Fleischer. Ja. Acker.
Aka. Uku. Ere.
The girls find it a struggle to learn their own written language, on the other hand, and do so with little enthusiasm.
Lapa. Rere. Leme. Tanda. Njam. Sumu.
Sumu.
Their father sends his daughters regularly to the scribe. He wants them to be brought up to be proud of the Bamoon's own history and culture, because out there in the everyday world, white magic lies in wait to cast its spell on adolescents, and the older people are mistrustful of it.
Leme.
Lapa. Riri. Lemme. Tanda. Njam.
We always wear jeans to work in the fields, the girls tell us, when we're amused by their Western uniform. Children are used to helping in their mothers' fields. After school, at weekends and in the holidays, the daughters go out with their mothers to harvest maize or to weed. The women rely on the children's help, and anyway their daughters need to learn for later on, because agriculture remains women's responsibility. For the families, women's work is essential to their survival.
Moi, j'aimerais.
I'd like to be a journalist or a hostess in tourism.
Journaliste ou bien hôtesse de tourisme.
Why tourism?
It's a job that appeals to me.
Riki, do you want to have a career too?
I'd like to be a detective or a nurse.
Ou bien infirmière.
But those are two different things, nurse and detective. Why do you want to be one or the other?
I'd like to have a career as a detective because mysteries and puzzles attract me. And I'd like to be a nurse because I'd like to help people who are in distress.
Your mother doesn't work as a detective.
Yes, that's a difference. They're just housewives, whereas we have something else in mind. We want to work in an office somewhere.
But will you be able to cook your fufu if you're in a big city?
Yes, I can prepare the meal before I leave in the morning, because this old fireplace is just like a friend to me. I trust it and it's more practical. With the modern equipment, you first have to learn how to use it. That's awful.
Saturday is market day. The market is a meeting place where news and gossip are exchanged. For the girls, the market offers an opportunity to look round for cheap novelties, compare prices, or simply seek distraction from the everyday routine of the week. Fashion accessories and thrilling action films are imports with an enormous attraction for young people. The teenagers enjoy strolling round, examining the range of consumer goods and imagining themselves as the heroines of their Western dreams.
You're already at an age when you could get married.
Yes.
But why aren't you married yet?
I haven't wanted to get married yet.
Why's that?
I haven't found anyone I love yet.
What must the boy who'd appeal to you be like then?
Ordinary but good.
I'd rather have a boy who dresses strikingly.
What do you mean by striking?
It means he has something which attracts people's attention.
And what should he be like apart from that?
Nice and not frivolous.
And yours, Riki?
Nice, as Bibi said. Considerate, understanding as a boy.
Should he be rich?
No, riches can go to people's heads.
The older generation speak of love as a period of temporary confusion and try to keep their daughters on the farmstead with a rigorous regime of housework. Sometimes the girls stay out till late at night and then climb in stealthily through the window to get to bed. Riki is afraid of her father and says his bitter silence hurts more than beatings.
My name is Polygamous Abu Bakr, and I was born in 1913.
Who was your father?
My father was called Nyase.
How many wives did he have?
He had 50.
That's quite a lot. What did it mean for him?
It was a sign of rank, because a chief like him had to have a number of wives. After all, the wives had to provide hospitality for guests. A single wife couldn't manage all the work. At big festivities, when the families gathered together, it was necessary to have all these wives on hand to prepare the food for everyone.
And you yourself have how many wives?
I have 3.
Why not 50 like your father had?
Life's no longer like that today. Our life is more expensive than it was in our father's time.
So who'll choose your husbands?
We will.
Your father will be in agreement with this?
Why not? He said if one of us finds her marriage partner, she should come and introduce him so that we can celebrate the wedding.
When you were young, on what criteria did you base your choice of wives?
Father told us, marry the daughter of that chief or of my friend so-and-so. That was how it was. You married for family reasons. But I'd like to add that I wouldn't recommend polygamy to my children.
But you still decided to live polygamously.
Yes, I decided to, but only because my parents made me. No, I don't see things the same way as my parents did, because life has changed since.
Do children constitute a kind of riches?
Yes, a kind of riches. They're even important for the family's prestige, because a family without children, among our people, is nothing at all. That's an unhappy family.
Do you try to bring your children up in that tradition?
Yes, no one should neglect to do that. I'm the head in my household.
She worships Michael Jackson, but Allah mustn't be forgotten. Here's Riki at Friday prayers in the women's mosque. It's at their father's insistence that his daughters attend these prayers. According to Islamic law, the girls remain under the care and protection of their father until they marry, when their husbands take over. But Islam also imposes stricter obligations on the men and limits polygamy to just 4 wives.
No, I don't want any polygamy.
But the way your parents live gives you an example that's not bad.
That's true, but my parents are something special. They get on well together, but it could be that I wouldn't get on with another wife.
But Riki, I've seen you in the mosque. If you're a devout Muslim, shouldn't you also accept polygamy?
No.
What problem are you afraid of then?
We're jealous.
That happens, does it, with neighbours?
Yes.
How can you tell?
Nagging and sometimes rows.
Is it possible then for a husband to treat all his wives the same, to be fair to all his wives?
I can't tell, because the polygamous husband is a great actor.
He's an actor?
Yes, he covers up what he's doing.
So he's acting?
Yes.
Why does he want polygamy? What do you think?
I think that polygamy here, in the past and still today, is an opportunity to show and to prove that one's important.
Where's the advantage to the man still?
Thanks to his wives, he can get rich. Through the work of his wives, he can impress people. Perhaps men's ideas have to be changed. They have to be persuaded simply to give up the system of polygamy.
"16-year-old Bibi is already a mother. She had a baby when she was 14. In former times, the girl's brothers would have killed her or hounded her from the farm. Bibi had no one to stand by her. The child's father was never heard of again. But Bibi was lucky. Her family took in the illegitimate child and her parents now look after it.
How many children do you want to have?
2.
That's not many for Africa.
No.
Why so few?
So I can love them and be able to look after them.
Bibi, you already have a child, haven't you? How old is it?
A year and 7 months.
So you were very young. Did you want this child?
No, it just happened.
You didn't want it?
Let's say I wasn't prepared for it, but I wanted it.
How did your father react?
He was angry. He didn't speak to me for a time, and afterwards he said it was over and done with.
But why do men nowadays have fewer wives in the marriage, but more and more often mistresses outside it?
I think that the reason is that the wife doesn't understand men, or that their wives are bad-tempered, and then they have to seek company elsewhere.
You mean so they can talk to the other women about the things the wife doesn't understand?
Yes, if a wife doesn't satisfy her husband in all respects, he has to seek company elsewhere.
If I found out that my husband had a mistress, I wouldn't be at all pleased. Even if I loved him, I'd rather go away.
But do you think that even if you're monogamous, it's possible for a wife to keep her husband for an entire lifetime and to love him?
Well, he can have others as long as I don't know about it.
You don't want to know about it?
Oh, well, I know more or less anyway. I already know that there are others, that I'm not the only one. But I live alone in the house with him. I don't want respect shown to me just so that I can still be the 20th or the 21st. But I've said I want to be the only one in the house. There can be other rivals outside, but that doesn't matter to me.
My African lady, please do not forget you are my land, you own my life. My African lady, I'll be your man until the end. You must never doubt my love. Everything I tell you is true. Sometimes I may have disappointed you, but I never meant to do that. Oh, no.
Riki, I have the impression that you like to dress according to the latest fashion. Where have you seen that?
In the magazines.
What do you find in the magazines?
What's in at the moment, what people in the rest of the world are wearing.
But do the men think that's prettier then?
Yes, the men here, they only want women who are beautiful.
Do you like the way you are?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your looks?
Yes, but I'd like to grow taller.
You think you're too short?
Yes.
But you're already quite tall.
Not tall enough. But if people love one another, there are no problems.
You believe that?
Certainly.
Have you experienced that?
Yes, in novels, in books.
Have you read anything about love?
Love stories, very exciting ones.
So you often read love stories. You dream of love all the time?
It's a habit.
You're in the habit of doing it.
Yes.
But in real life, what are you doing to find a husband, to please men?
I try to be natural so that I'm accepted the way I am.
Riki. Jangan faham betul nama.
African lady, please do not forget you are my land, you own my life. My African lady, I'll be your man.